This is the Iowa Weather Report for Wednesday, July 16th, 2014. And now our first look at the 0Z GFS model run. At 1 p.m. this afternoon, we still have a trough over the Great Lakes moving into the north and east. Still have a northwesterly flow coming out of Canada. This is going to keep the temperature still below seasonal levels, likely in the lower to middle 70s across the state with some sunshine. Could see some afternoon clouds as we did yesterday, but maybe not as widespread cloudiness as we saw yesterday, so we should see a little more sunshine than we did see yesterday. Thursday we should see pretty much about the repeat of today, Wednesday, with the GFS continuing to show possibly some sprinkles at best with anything. Friday looks to be the same way as well. If there's any precipitation, it's going to be maybe a trace. Most places will be dry. Highs will be by Friday going into the lower 80s as warm air comes in. Saturday we'll see highs well into the 80s, lower to middle 80s across the state. The humidity will start to increase. We have a system that is going to try to make its way into the area, but it doesn't look like it's going to quite make it. A little bit of it's going to move across the U.S.-Canadian border. We'll have precipitation to the south, little if anything, most likely nothing around here for Sunday. Highs will be well into the 80s, maybe approaching the low 90s in western Iowa to begin RAGBRAI, which starts on Sunday. And then Monday, this begins the chances of showers and thunderstorms. Most likely the best chance will be across western into central Iowa here on Monday, with highs still in the 80s to lower 90s. Tuesday, still the chances will be best in the western and central counties, and even at that it's about a 20 to maybe 30% crack at that. Highs likely still remaining in the 80s to lower 90s. And you can see by next Wednesday, here's this 594 ridge. It is just entering the state, but we still have a flow out of the north and west. We have a system moving across the northern part of this ridge over Washington into Idaho and northwestern Montana. But we're still on the eastern periphery that we could still see some showers and storms, mainly in the central and eastern counties here by next Wednesday. Highs likely still in the 80s and 90s. Going into the extended period, July the 27th, 594 ridge centered over Colorado, Kansas, the Oklahoma-Texas Panhandle, and New Mexico. We still have a light northerly flow that's going to keep the temperatures from really getting excruciatingly warm. So we should still see readings in the 80s to lower 90s, maybe some mid-90s in the western counties as they're closer to the center of that ridge. Any storms will be off to our southeast and well to our north. At the end of the forecast, the 31st, the end of the month, main storm track across the U.S.-Canadian border with a little bit of a system diving into the north and west. Now the ridge centering itself over the south and east at this point, and that's still going to keep us at least in the area of some showers and thunderstorms around here. But you can see no real organization with any of these storms, so don't expect any possible severe weather if this is to be correct. Satellite image from last evening, we had a frontal system moving along the east coast down into the south and east. That's taking a lot of this real cool Canadian air and diving it all the way into the south, and the monsoonal flow continues over the Four Corners region. The watch warning map for last evening, we had some flood watches across the northeast, a few flash flood warnings there as well. Severe thunderstorm watch nearing expiration in Wyoming and the Nebraska Panhandle, and some flash flood watches in the west, and some red flag warnings and heat advisories in the northwest. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, showing no precipitation around here for the next 5 days. Heaviest will be across the Red River Valley down into the south, and then up the Ohio River Valley, where up to 4 to 6 inches is possible there.